Hello mathematicians, hope by this video getting a little bit of practice you can say I can factor trinomials when a equals 1. So just to start it off, the general equation for a trinomial is ax squared plus bx plus c. So this video is going to focus when a is equal to 1, so more or less when it is x squared plus bx plus c. So when we are factoring out trinomials, it is going to be like we're undoing the FOIL method. So we're going to come up with two binomials after we factor out our trinomials. I'm going to look at 3 different examples in this video, all of which give us kind of a different scenario of what you might see when you're factoring trinomials. All right, let's look at our first example here. So we're given x squared plus 9x plus 20. And we're going to factor these out into 2 different binomials. And we know that the FOIL method tells us that the first 2 terms, when you multiply them together, have to add up to x squared. So that means that what has to go here is an x and an x, because if we were to do our FOIL method and multiply across, we got to take x times x, so it's the first term of both binomials, and multiply, and we get x squared. So these have to be x right away. And we also know that we would take the last term in both binomials, we multiply them together, and those would have to give us 20. So we're going to look for factors of 20 to fill in these spaces right here. Okay, and those factors of 20 have to add up to 9 in the middle. So we're going to look at our factors of 20. So factors of 20 include, well, 1 and 20 obviously, 2 and 10, 4 and 5, and that is it. So now we're looking for factors of 20 that add up to 9. Well, that's going to be 4 and 5. So we'd go x plus 4 and x plus 5 right here. So this would be our factored trinomial. So let's just go ahead and we can check our answer. So we'd go using our FOIL method just to FOIL it again just to see if we come up with the same answer. So we go x times x, which would give us x squared, x times 5, which would be plus 5x, 4 times x, which would be 4x, so plus 4x, and 4 times 5, which is 20, so plus 20. And then we would combine like terms and we get x squared plus 9x plus 20, which is exactly what we started with. So this is a good answer right here. Let's look at another example. So we're given x squared minus 15x plus 56. So again, we're going to try to break this up into 2 different binomials. And we know that our first term in both binomials is going to be an x, because if we were to FOIL these across, we get x squared, which is what this is right here. And now we're looking for factors of 56 that add up to negative 15. It's important that you look at the sign in front. So let's think of our factors of 56. So we have 56. So we've got 1 and 56, obviously. 2 and 28. 4 and 14. And 7 and 8. So we know these are all factors of 56, but none of these, when you add them together, are going to add up to negative 15. But we also know that 2 negatives multiplied by each other give us a positive. So we also could include the negatives of all these numbers as being factors, because if you take a negative times a negative, you get a positive. So which one of these sets of factors add up to negative 15? Well, that's going to be this negative 7 and negative 8. So it'd be x minus 7 and x minus, and this would be our factored trinomial, and instead of 2 binomials multiplied by each other. So again, let's go down here and let's FOIL these out just to check our answer. So x times x would give us x squared. X times negative 8 would be negative 8x. Negative 7 times x would give us negative 7x. And negative 7 times negative 8 would be positive 56, so plus 56. And we'd combine our like terms in the middle here. We get x squared minus 15x plus 56. All right, let's look at one more example. So we're given x squared plus 3x minus 28. And again, we're going to split these up into 2 different binomials as we factor them out. And again, the first term of both binomials needs to be x, because when we FOIL it out, it'd give us x squared. Okay, so now we're looking for factors of 28 or negative 28 that add up to 3. So let's just think our factors of 28. Well, we've got 1 and 28, obviously, 2 and 14, 4 and 7. We're actually looking for factors of negative 28. So one of these two factors, one of these sides of factors needs to be negative, because negative times positive is a negative. And we know that our answer needs to be positive. So that means that our factor with the greater absolute value needs to be the positive factor. So that means that our lesser absolute values are going to be negative. So, and which one of these sets of factors adds up to positive 3? Well, that's going to be negative 4 and 7. Because negative 4 plus 7 is positive 3. So we'd go minus 4 plus 7. And again, we can check these just to make sure that our answer is correct. So let's FOIL this out and check our answer. So we'd get x squared plus 7x minus 4x and minus 28. And again, we'd combine like terms, so it gives us x squared plus 3x minus 28. So that is a good answer there. So that is it for video. After watching this and getting a little bit of practice, you can say I can factor trinomials when a equals 1.